Alright, guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome to my presentation on Force of Will's first true FTK. Now, I know what some of you are going to say looking at this slide, but Mike, wasn't technically the first FTK that deck out strategy using Sprout of the Treasure Tree from Valhalla Cluster? If you want to feed the YouTube algorithm and fight me in the comments, please do. This basically does not exist. Force of Will has been trying to get us to forget Valhalla Cluster exists for like 4 or 5 years now. Origins never happened. They're using Valhalla artwork on like ABC and main set cards and tokens and everything along those lines. This does not exist. Just getting that out there. What does exist, however, is the culprit at hand. The Cheshire Cat's Assistance is possibly the worst designed Force of Will card of all time. Now, looking at the card itself, you probably won't think that just because you're like, oh, okay, well, you just play with the top card of your deck revealed until end of turn. It doesn't let you play it for free. You can play it. It just keeps on going, and oh god, I just realized. And you see what happens, yeah. Everybody here knows that Force of Will decks that do well tend to, cheat a little bit of will. They can play some cards for free, most of the time. So, the Cheshire Cat's Assistance is going to be kind of cracked if you don't have to pay will for some of your cards. Unfortunately, all of Alhamat's cards can be played without paying will. Basically, all you do is just go through your entire deck, just rifle through it with cards like Ancient Heartfelt Fire to go net positive on mana counters with every single one you play. Zero cost Regalia, some of which, like Hydromonica, can discard another copy of themselves to draw a card to keep you going. And then eventually you just cycle a bunch of Invitation of Disasters until you hit your opponent 5 times with it for that 4,000 lethal. And now you might be thinking to yourself, well, Mike, you can only play 4 of a card. How do you loop your Invitation of Disaster this many times? Let's talk about my least favorite card of all time. Ooh, Horn of Sacred Beasts. Oh, I'm out of cards. Better reload. Just do the whole thing over again. Hit my invitation. Whoops, we'll do it again. Why was this card ever printed? Oh my god, this card just made the deck exactly what it was. You just went infinitely. It didn't matter how much life your opponent had. You could be playing against Almirs with 7,000 life. You could be playing against Typhon with 200 cards in their deck. You would still FTK them every single time just because of Horn. Also, side note, Priestly Player is inconsolable. Oops, my pet card is being used to do unfair things again. Whoop-de-doo, whatever. Oh my god. Horn was the glue that held this deck together and made it disgusting. So, you might be thinking to yourself, this seems ridiculous. This is the most consistent FTK I've ever seen. All you have to do is open Cheshire Cat's Assistance, you go to town on your opponent, you make them lose the game, there's no room for interaction. How did this clearly broken deck impact the metagame upon the release of Echoes of the New World? If I had to play this, I would just quit the game on the spot, and a lot of players were saying that. Well, it didn't. Surprise, surprise. A week before the official release of the Echoes of the New World, Force of Will banned Horn, along with Levitine, but that's not important to this. Without it, the deck's max damage was 1,600 total instead of the infinite you could do, which is fantastic. It literally did not work anymore. And as a result, the deck was only a menace in theory crafting sessions and pre-release tournaments. I vividly remember somebody came to one of my locals with the deck pretty much created upon pre-release, packed their Cheshire Cats from a box, put them into the sleeves, and said, all right, cool, if anybody can beat this deck, you get like $50 or something. Nobody even came close. It was disgusting. So thank God for this thing never actually taking off. So what's the, onward implication of this? Well, later down the line, in a baffling decision, one of the decisions of all time, Force of Will did the old switcheroo and unbanned Horn and Wanderer and placed Assistance on the ban list instead, where it remains to this day. Now, if you want to know exactly how disgusting of a card Assistance is, right now we're in the process of the reworking protocol, where a bunch of old cards are getting errated, basically having their old effects gutted or completely changed in most cases, just so that the cards can be playable. There is no plan to errata Assistance. There's no reworking protocol for Assistance. This thing is a lifer for the ban list, because even I Spy knows Assistance is not a card to be touched. If you do anything with it, it's going to either completely change the card outright, might as well just spend that time printing new cards, or if you put it back and it becomes broken again, then you have the same issue on your hands with FTKs. Holy hell, what a card. Easily the most heinous card in Force of Will's history. So in conclusion, despite many times that Forcible has quote unquote died in the community's eyes, this one was like, if the ban list hadn't happened right before Echoes, I think the game would have just immediately crashed at that moment in time. Cheshire Cat Systems FTK is probably revered as one of the most disgusting things that never saw the light of day. There's not much else to say. It is heinous. It's revolting, and it's revered as one of the worst things of all time. But anyway, that's it for the video. If you guys like this and want to hear a little bit more Forcible history, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what else you want to see. And until next time, thanks for stopping by.